What's up? It's me, D.W.C, and I'm back again, continuing my series of going through the best players at certain aspects in the game in MLB The Show 20. I'm just doing these videos at the start of the game before the actual release date of MLB The Show 20 because it's something I enjoy doing, going into and seeing who's the best at what. Sure, you can guess a lot of the players that are going to pop up, but it's just interesting for me to go in and see the list of all the players who are good at what. Like we did speed already, we did power, and in today's video, we're going to be going through potential. So, players that you want to pick up in franchise mode and see them grow. So, we could see some low overall players here, but they could have high potential, and you can target them, bring them into your team, and watch them grow over a couple seasons. So that is what we're going to be focusing on in this video. Going into the player search like we've done for the last couple videos, we're going to go down and we're going to set attribute 1 as potential. And we're going to set the minimum potential at 90, and then we'll see how many results we get back, and if it's too much for me to really handle, we'll bump it up to 95. So scrolling down through, obviously you got all your top guys. Yeah, like I thought, just having it at 90 is going to be a lot for me to cover, so we are going to go in and bump it up to 95 potential, and these are going to be the elite potential guys in this year's game. So if you can get your hands on one of these guys in a trade, there's a good chance that they will turn into something special if they're not already like 26, 27 years old. So we will search this, and we're going to start at the bottom. So starting off with a free agent, I'm not sure if he's an international free agent or if he's a created guy in the game. 20 years old, 47 overall, Pedro Valdez is an A potential, obviously 95 plus. The only downside here is I can't tell exactly what their potential is, but you know that if it's 95 plus, he's obviously going to be elite potential, and he's going to turn into something good if he grows properly. Then you have Ton Kramer. Then you have Ton Kramer, 18 years old, 50 overall, between 95 and 99 potential. 27-year-old Caleb Ort, 52 overall. We can disregard him because he's never going to turn into anything. 24-year-old Justin Dunn, 53 overall. Having the 95 potential is something I guess you could wait on him, maybe. He's 24, so he could turn into something by the time he's maybe 28. But I still don't think he's going to get anywhere near his potential. Grant Levine, 20 years old, 56 overall. He's someone who could develop into something special at 20 years old with that 56 overall. You want to get them hitting stats up as a first baseman, though. You want to work on that power. Then we have Riley Green, 19 years old, 59 overall. Ethan Hankins, 19 years old, 60 overall for the Indians. I never called out the teams for the first few players, so I'll just quickly go back and do that. Riley Green plays for the Tigers. Grant Levine plays for the Rockies. Justin Dunn plays for the Mariners. And the other two were free agents. So then we have Jordan Groshans. I think that's how that's pronounced. 20 years old, 60 overall, shortstop for the Blue Jays AA team. Then you have Keone Cavaco, 18 years old, 60 overall for the Twins organization as a shortstop. Then you have Eddie Pedroza, Class A, 22 years old, 61 overall for the Twins as a closing pitcher. Now, him being 22 and 61 overall with that 95 plus potential as a closer is really good, because by the time he turns 25 or 26, he could easily be up into the mid-70s, and he can continue to grow until he gets to 27, 28. And as we know, relievers can pitch effectively until their mid-30s, so he's definitely a player that could be good. And you have Adrian Morejon for the San Diego Padres. 20 years old, 61 overall. You have Tyler Kolek for the Marlins. He's 24 years old and only 61 overall. So my confidence in him growing up close to where his potential is not very good. Nick Pratto for the Royals organization, a first baseman, 21 years old, 62 overall. Ronnie Mauricio of the Mets as a shortstop, 18 years old, 62 overall. So with that age and that potential, he's definitely worth waiting on. He could turn into something really good for your team. You have Michael Taglia, 21 years old, 63 overall, first baseman for the Rockies. That's the second first baseman we've seen from them so far. This guy has better base hitting stats. He's 21 and the other guy was 20. So I would definitely lean towards sticking with him if you have a Rockies franchise, which, as we see in my announcement video, if you have, I am starting up a Rockies franchise, so he's a player I'll be holding on to with that 95 plus potential that he has. Then you have Brett Baty of the Mets organization as a third baseman, 63 overall, 20 years old. Cesar Izturis, 20 years old, shortstop for the Mariners. Ray Del Villar for the Cubs. He is a closing pitcher again. This guy even more so than the last guy, 19 years old at 65 overall. By the time he gets to his mid-20s, he can be a really, really effective closer for you if you go that deep into your franchise seasons. Daniel Espino, 19 years old, 65 overall for the Indians. He can turn into a really good player. Royce Lewis, 20 years old, 66 overall. One of the top prospects in MLB for the Twins. Cody Hoyce, that's how I'm going to guess it's pronounced. No idea, really. 22 years old, 67 overall, third baseman for the Dodgers. Next up is Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks, a center fielder, 19 years old, 67 overall. He has almost no power. He's got good fielding, good speed, and you can work on that contact to turn him into a good leadoff guy. Tristan Cassis of the Red Sox, 20 years old, 67 overall, third baseman, good base power stats. Then we have Alex Reyes, who is there. He's been one of the high potential guys for a few years now. Hasn't really gotten to where we've been expecting yet. Maybe this year is his breakout year. So he could be a player you look to pick up for Diamond Dynasty to watch him get some upgrades. 25 years old, 68 overall as a reliever. Then you got Tim Cate of the Washington Nationals, 22 years old, 68 overall. Michael Kopech, 22 years old, 68 overall. J.J. Belladay, 22 years old, 68 overall. So these three guys, same age, same overall. Two starting pitchers, one right fielder. Kopech doesn't show his affiliate, obviously, because he's in the MLB with the White Sox. Bleday is associated with the Marlins. Then you have C.J. Abrams, 19 years old, 69 overall shortstop. Really good fielding and speed, associated with the Padres. Fernando Rodney's a free agent. You can just ignore that one pretty much because he's 43 years old. Jeremy Pena, 22 years old, 69 overall player for the Houston Astros at shortstop. Dustin May of the Dodgers, 21 years old, 69 overall starting pitcher. Cole Stewart of the Baltimore Orioles, 24 years old, 70 overall. Not a great starting overall, but for that Orioles team, you can put him in, get him some innings, give him some work, and he can grow for you. Chris Bubik, 22 years old, 70 overall starting pitcher. Kyle Tucker of the Astros, 23 years old, 70 overall. Robert Puason, 17 years old, really, really young player right there. 71 overall already. Great fielding, good speed of the A's. Definitely go for him if you're looking for a future player. That 17 years old is really special, and he already has great base fielding and speed, so if you get that contact up And even if the power doesn't go anywhere, he can be a great 1 or 2 hole hitter for you. Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals, 19 years old, 71 overall. A lot of the shortstops overalls may be boosted because of their fielding, but that's just something to keep in mind. Then you have Nick Madrigal of the White Sox, who is 22 years old, 71 overall. Luis Mota is 29-year-old, 72 overall free agent. You can skip past him. Keston Hiura, one of the best up-and-coming young hitters, I believe, anyway. 23 years old, 72 overall for the Brewers. Alex Manoah, 22 years old, 72 overall for the Blue Jays starting pitcher. I think the Blue Jays have a few good young starting pitchers potential-wise. So that could be a team, obviously, with all their other young players, you can turn into a really, really strong team for a few years until you need to let some of them go for contract reasons. Jason Dominguez of the Yankees, another 17-year-old player. Not too bad stats to start off with, a player you could go for. Luis Robert, 22 years old, 74 overall for the White Sox. Bo Bichette, 74 overall, 22 years old for the Blue Jays. I'm a big fan of Bo Bichette myself. He is a really good player. You see he had a .311 average in his 46 games he played last year. He had a good amount of doubles and home runs. He's a player to look for the future. Albert Pujols, his potential doesn't matter. He's not getting better at this age. He's at the very end of his career. Brendan McKay of the Rays, 23 years old, 75 overall starting pitcher. I think he also has good hitting stats as he is a two-way player, more or less. So he could even be a player you bring in and actually hit with if you need to. Not something I'd recommend because hitting stats aren't great, but they are better than some players we've seen. Obviously, as they were lower rated. Vladdy Jr. at 75 overall. Surprised he doesn't have a higher overall, honestly. But he's going to get there because you know for a fact that this guy has 99 potential. 21 years old. Obviously, it's going to be hard to get away from that Blue Jays team, but if you control the Blue Jays, enjoy playing with them, enjoy watching him grow throughout his career and become one of the top players in baseball. Corey Lee of the Astros, 21 years old, 75 overall. Then you have Andrew Benintendi, 25, 76. He still has that high ceiling. He's getting a little bit older and getting a little bit less time to have his breakout season, at least in MLB The Show terms, because players don't really grow as much once they get to like 27, 28. But in real life, we're still waiting for him to break out also. Nick Senzel, young player for the Reds, has not gotten much MLB time in his career. Played 104 games, 256 average. He had 12 home runs. Look for him to be a bit better this year when he gets involved. Rich Hill, Pat Neshek, Ben Zobrist don't really matter. Victor Robles, 22 years old, 81 overall. Really, really good fielder with good speed. Right there, Victor Robles of the Nationals. Shohei Ohtani, obviously everyone knows Shohei Ohtani. He's a two-way player for sure, 25 years old, 81 overall. He's got the pitching stats. He's got the really good hitting stats. Put him wherever you want. He can play well for you. Darren O'Day will skip past. Wilson Contreras, 27 years old. He's getting towards the point where he's going to be maxing out where his potential is going to cap off and he's going to level out at. But he could still grow a little bit. And I think personally Wilson Contreras is one of the better catchers in MLB. He's definitely top 5 in my opinion. Yohan Moncada, 24 years old, 83 overall of the White Sox. Gleyber Torres, 23 years old, 84 overall of the Yankees. And now we're getting into the top level players, so these guys are going to be almost guaranteed to get closer to their potential. Nelson Cruz, Yordan Alvarez, 22 years old, 85 potential. That's someone who's almost guaranteed to get to his potential because he probably has 98 or 99 potential. Carlos Correa, already a solid player. Don't even need to really talk about him. Shane Bieber, 24 years old, 86. Fernando Tatis Jr., Jack Flaherty, Joey Gallo, Pete Alonso, Luis Severino, who's unfortunately out for the year for the Yankees, Walker Buehler, Noah Syndergaard, Aaron Nola, Manny Machado, Matt Chapman, Zach Greinke, Christian Yelich, Charlie Morton, Bryce Harper, Roberto Osuna, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Ozzie Albies, Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Aaron Judge, Justin Verlander, Ronald Acuna Jr., Max Scherzer, Alex Bregman, Anthony Rendon, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Jacob deGrom, Nolan Arenado, and Mike Trout. We flew through those last guys because they're already well-established players. You don't really need to spend time on them because they're already good players. You can pick them up. They'll grow a little bit more for you. You'll be set. Now what I'm going to do is bump it up to 98 and look who is the top of the top potential-wise. So Brett Baty, Cody Hoyce, J.J. Bleday, C.J. Abrams, Robert Poisson, Bobby Witt Jr., Jason Dominguez, Corey Lee, Fernando Tatis Jr., Christian Yelich, Zach Greinke, Charlie Morton, Francisco Lindor, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Acuna Jr., Bregman, Bellinger, Betts, Arenado, deGrom, and Trout. So surprisingly, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. actually doesn't have 98 or 99 potential, which I am surprised by because I expected him to. But 99 potential guys, here they are. You have Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm just going to go through the young players now. You have Fernando Tatis Jr. Surprised he has 99 potential and Vladdy Jr. doesn't. Maybe it's just because Vladdy Jr. is more of a hitter, whereas Tatis is a fielder and a hitter. Then you have Corey Lee, Jason Dominguez, and these are the lower level players. If you want to get a 99 potential player, they're going to be hard to trade for. I'll leave them on the screen for a second so you can maybe write them down, take a picture if you want to try and acquire them, or you can just look them up when you get into your own franchise. But these have been the top potential players in MLB The Show 20. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you very soon for my next video.